Okay, I don't know what happened there. Not really sure why it's been disconnecting. So something to do with a really bad connection. But I'm hoping that it's fixed now. I do apologize for that. Anyways, we got about this far. I think we just finished the hair. So we're gonna take the last section of this to essentially complete the skirt. So we're just going to unhide everything. All the bones, unhide. There we go. Right. Get all the geometry and unhide it as well. Right. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with this connection. I don't know why that happened, but okay, we're going to finish it off. So, last bit. Go out here, and what I'm hoping it to do is that it will just simply be a case of just lining up a bunch of bones along this and just moving them. However, I don't know if I need to do some kind of like... I'm just not sure exactly whether I need to chain link them or not. I presume I would need to. That, or it's just a bunch of joints that then guide it along. The last project I had where I did do them as like several chains like this, it did work, but it did stretch them a bit. And it wasn't like the rigging was particularly amazing there, so hopefully with what we're learning, we'll be able to set up like a decent control for it. Okay, so let's just get going and placing the bones anyway. So first order of business is to go ahead and just hide the apron. It's just going to get in the way. Second order of business is to take this bone and just duplicate it along. We'll say dead center. Well, it will be dead center when we unparent it. Shift P, I think. Yeah, there we go. Right, unparent it, throw that over there, and then parent it back onto this bone. Yeah, I think. Yeah, there we go. And then finally, hide this over there. Right. And there should only be a certain range of movement required. So about maybe here. Okay. I'm gonna freeze transformations on that before I start. And we're gonna just name that first. So that the name is inherited. So we're just gonna call it skirt 1 1, right? So thinking about this as an array, this should be this is the first one of a potential maybe 8 or 10 bones perhaps. And I know that you need to be quite careful with the resolution of this, because the less bones that you have, the harder it is to, you know, to move it in particular ways. But the more bones that you have, the harder it is to weight paint properly. And also it becomes harder to move around too. Okay, so skirt 1 1, and then maybe 1 2 3 4, I guess. Let's give that a try. So the second one will go here. I'm gonna make sure it's just behind the skirt there, so about there. Same's true of that. Okay, and then 1, so that's 2 2 spaces down, and then this one goes about here, maybe a bit further. I'm just wondering if that's enough or if we need more, like one more. I think it'll be okay. Alright, let's give that a try. So okay. Alright, that seems fair to me. So if we work with that, and we'll say maybe 2, 3, 4. Let's see how it goes. Obviously, since it's mirrored, we don't really need to think too hard about it. Okay, first. Okay. This becomes 2, 1, R. Then move on to the next one. I want it so that the axis points towards the center, so that when I sort of move them all along one particular axis, they'll just rotate upwards. So they should all face that to begin with. Okay. Oh, whoops, I haven't quite finished the name off. Ah, there you go. Something like that. I think. I guess we'll just see. This is as much as it is experimenting as it is attempting to do it properly. But because skirts are still very much a bit of a strange area, that's why. Or alright, there you go. Take that up. On there. Okay. Right, the next bit. Face it towards it. Further. Update its like default. I definitely want it to be able to like swish around and stuff. Alright, and because it's got the format now, we can just go like rename and paste that in there. This, while I'm there. Alright. Next one. And the only thing is that this like fold seems to make this a little difficult to place. I can imagine that there's probably going to be some kind of stretching going on if I animate it incorrectly, so we'll just have to see. But I'm just sort of trying to work out what concerns I've got as I'm doing it. So okay, nearly there though. Might need to position this further up actually, because yeah, as we're going further along the right here, more of this is capable of moving. Maybe perhaps up here, and I'll adjust the other bones as well. It forms a happy little arc. This one as well. Just throw it upwards a bit. There, yeah. Slot can go down a bit. While I'm there, just turn that off, just so that I can see it, or rather, not see it when it's, so I can tell it's behind. Pointed towards it, not quite yet. No. Yeah. Duplicate that again. I'm just gonna move it until it starts to sort of penetrate. I still need to make sure that that bone is facing along there. Like, it doesn't matter which axis it is, as long as it's all the same at this given point in time. Okay. Check that again. Yep. Okay, cool. Alright, so we've only got a couple more to go now. I think. And like, I've got a bone that's quite high up because I want to make absolutely sure that I can, you know, correct for clipping, or at least try to, right? And then hopefully, you know, you won't have any weird issues where like the butt clips through the skirt. I'm hoping anyway, but you know, it's going to be interesting to see how it plays. Further in. They're not all going to be at the same exact, you know, rotation, because the skirt right now has folds in it, right? So, you know, it might be that some of them do actually need adjusting on a per bone basis. At least that's what I guess. But if it didn't have any folds in, yeah, I guess it would be easier, and you might as well have used cloth physics at that point. Oh, but then I suppose you don't have any characteristic folds. That's, well, to say characteristic folds might be a bit of a joke here, though. In you go. Rotate that one out a bit. This one out a bit. And check it. A little further in. Okay. And this bit further out. Till it's, you know, the other thing isn't poking through. There we go. Alright. Now the last part is pretty simple. But we do need to rename this lot first, I guess. So 4, 5, 6. It should just do it for the selected. There you go. And we just go through like that. This one, 5 to 7. 5 to 8. 5 to 9. And then the last one over here, we'll just mirror across. So we do need to configure our mirror a little bit. Mirror joints, box option. Right, so mirroring joints can sometimes be really confusing, but the easiest way, I guess, to understand exactly which direction you want to mirror in is if you look in the bottom left where the this sort of directional gizmo is, and you see where Y-X is, and you look at that like that right angle that those two create. You sort of imagine a square, like that would be like your mirror axis. So if you imagined a mirror, right, in that shape, and if it was looking at you like this, you would see your own reflection there, right? So that would be the literal mirror placement and angle, right? It's along this sort of square, if you will. But because we want a mirror, right, so that this then moves over there, your mirror axis will be the Y-X axis, so, or XY rather, in this case. And it also looks for a particular phrase or string, and obviously this doesn't exist in there, so it's fine, it will just ignore it. And we just want to mirror that. There we go. That off, and it just becomes skirt 1.9, so of course it's going to need to be fixed there, but that's not a problem. I believe it's 10, I'm not, or it can just be 9. Yeah, it is 9. Search and replace, off it goes. And take the 1 off there as well. And then the last thing that needs to happen with this, work out what the heck I just did. World. So this bit, rotate that out. And just move them along so that these are in slightly more, you know, sensible locations, like that. On there, just to be consistent. And move them so that they're definitely within that sort of range where they're within this poly, I guess. Down, move that down a bit, this as well. Same's true of this. I just want to make sure that they're all sort of in a sensible place. See that that's not quite in the right place. There we go. When it's going to be mirrored over, we don't want to have to change things over and over again. So, and yeah, we do have that to contend with as well. We need to make sure that the joints above this are also in a consistent location. About there maybe, or wherever this is right now. About there. Yeah, it's not like exact, it's just, you know, reasonable. If I could aim. They all go there. The only issue with this is that then this sort of stretches out the lower end. But at the same time, maybe it's needed. Okay, the next bit. Alright, so we want this to be roughly there. Right. At the same time though, I do appreciate that I need to make sure that the there is like a higher up level. Why I wanted to spread them out further in the first place. So I'm not completely forgetting, but I am aware that I need to keep it consistent in terms of resolution. You would think of this as like a resolution issue anyway. Okay. It's a bit further up. And okay. We're almost there. Maybe I did need an extra one. Maybe. Even if it doesn't move, at least it's consistent. Wow, I'm surprised you could do that. I wasn't actually expecting that to work. Okay, so where does that leave us? That leaves us with this and then a gap here where these two basically say, oh, we need more resolution. We put this, we'll make new bones for it. Okay, got those on that level. That lot is roughly on that level. Missing one. Okay, and then that leaves this slot, which would be good to have another section of that. So I'm just going to quickly do that now. Pretty simple. In fact, if I do it this way, select all of the stuff that's is like a skirt bone, basically. Now duplicate it, move it down to roughly that level. I mean, it's still gonna need some movement, but that's okay. And then isolate, select the bottom area. That's like that, there we go. Now I can do this. So go here, select it please. Okay. Here, here, P, right? Did that actually work, or did I go over and do something slightly stupid? Alright then. Freaking shift P. Oh, wait, what? What? No. Can I click on it? There we go. Oh, it's connect. Wait, what the heck? Yeah, let me go again. Going all the way to where this existed. Right? Hit delete. Oh wait, no. I've deleted the wrong way. something. Okay, so hang on, so yeah. And if I go here, select that, move it, what the heck? Why is there another? Accidentally like duplicate it twice or something? Oh, it's because there's something over here that's got it twice, right? Okay. Weird. Rules still apply. There should be two aspects here that shouldn't be here. That's what it says. Then I'll look at this. But very weird. Oh well. Almost there. I'm just gonna take these ends and snip them off. Now we can. That's parented to that. Then this is still around here somehow. What? Maybe it's this. I don't know. Maybe it created too many or something. I don't know. Still weird. Just gotta be careful not to accidentally like destroy something we already did. Right? Why is that there? We're gonna run out of undo, aren't we? Yep. Okay. I don't know what's going on here. I forget to unparent it or something. Maybe. Probably why, actually. Now that I think about it. Parent, there we go. Right, that might have made more sense now. Okay, now we delete the end stuff. I think. So then that leaves us with that, and now when I do this... Oh, whoops, I've shift P, not P. There you go. Now that P's onto that. Parents even. Not like that. Right, okay, there you go, that's the way apparently. Just parent that way and then parent this way. Well, it seems to have caused a little bit of a Bit of a strange rift there. Oh well. Probably just that it's just needed adjustment, that's all. Alright. Okay. All adjusted anyway, it's all fine. More likely than not, it just needs to be positioned after that. Okay. Not that one. Okay. There's this. Be another controller for that. Okay, well, we'll just make a new one. Oh, I think that's... No, it was not. You know, be careful not to accidentally join onto the buttock bone, so to speak, because that would be really bad if it joined there. It's gone and moved a little. But new one. Oh, well, alright then. For whatever reason, it decided that even though I'm manipulating the origin, it wanted to move the whole thing. Alright then. Okay. 2 more to go. Okay. That's everything. Just need to make sure that it's all lined up properly, because I know that some of these have moved around a little bit, and these ones have somehow gained height. Almost there. Okay, roughly speaking, that's done. Just needs this bit deleting. And then the final thing is just to make sure that the names are all okay. So, only really need to check like 2 of them, I think. So basically going 1, 2, 3, 4. Obviously, it's not doing that right now, so just quickly rename that. And any kind of like, you know, corrections I think we'll do after. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 even, sorry. So here we are, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 2. 5, and then this bit there. Okay, cool. Not sure why it didn't have underscore R there. That makes things a little bit more annoying. About what we'll do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. I'm just not. You're not having like disconnected or anything. Okay. Because if it disconnected another time, we would probably just have to end it. Anyway. 4, 1, 2, 3. One, 2, 3. Five. Oops. 3, 5 there. One, 2, 7, 3. I'm acutely aware when I can see like there's buffering or something. Even though I've got it on low latency, so it shouldn't be doing that. Oh fuck, oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay. 2, 9, oh dear. 3. Right, last bit. Yeah, it is. 1, 2, 3. 5. Okay. Save that. So that's essentially the skeleton complete on one side. So the only thing that's left to do here, we've got everything done. But the only thing that's left to do to actually finish the skeleton, so to speak, is the joint orient, which basically means that we decide exactly what orient the joints are going in, and obviously mirroring it all over. Mirroring it is the easy part. Joint orienting is a bit of a two-stage process, so we would orient the joints first before it's been mirrored, so that they're all in a consistent direction and the direction that we actually want them to go in. We would mirror them, and then we would do another joint orient on the other side where we just make sure that the mirrored, like the direction that those joints are going is also consistent based on the downward direction. So for instance, right, just as a brief demonstration, not like to actually do it, but if we look at this joint, maybe perhaps one more along the fingers. Okay, so over here, so you see how the x-axis is pointing downwards? That I think is what we want. It depends on the engine. In Marmoset, if you're just doing a Marmoset render, then you don't have to care, but if you were doing an animation or actual, you know, things for games, then you do need to care about the direction that these joints are pointing towards, and you have to make that consistent with every single bone that you make. So in this case, we would like for the joint direction to head down the X direction. So when X will point to the next bone, this is the X-axis pointing along the chain to the next bone. Okay, so when you do this on the other side, because it's mirrored and also because it's facing a completely different direction, you then have to choose which of the three axes will have a upward axis. So what I mean by that, if you understand what a normal and bitangent and, you know, just basically the three directions, right? So this is your x-axis pointing down. This then is your, I think, tangent and then bitangent. And bitangent is basically just the perpendicular angle to the tangent. So if we pretend that this is going straight down, this is facing up, and this is facing to the side, quote unquote, then this is obviously wrong, and we would want the y-axis to face basically like this, right? In other words, pointing out where the z-axis is right now. The thing about that, however, is that because the positive y and the positive z both occur in a unique direction, when you have mirrored your joints over, one of these has to then be reversed. Usually z, probably. It depends on what you actually want to do, but the most important thing is that whatever your primary direction is for that particular thing, let's say this finger, that has to be consistent across all of it. So if you want to move this finger, and right now the side where, like, you know, if you imagine an axle across these three knuckles, you know, where that's where your hand normally moves, we'll select all of these just to sort of grasp that, right? Obviously these two are wrong right now, but we'll just perhaps quickly orient these just so that they're the same. Okay, right, so you see how they're now the same. Now, z-axis is currently like where the knuckle is, sorry, where the axle is. So in other words, if your knuckle is, well, right now, hang on, sorry. There we go. Right, so your z-axis is where your axle is. Your x-axis is pointing, you know, along the direction of the bones, and the y-axis is pointing towards, say, the bottom of the finger. Let's make it point to the top. So that's like where your knuckle is. If you imagine the knuckle is here, here, and here, that's your axle, and that's your you know, pointing direction. So when you rotate along Z negative in this case, that's your Z negative, which is pulling in. That might not be what you want. So perhaps if you reverse the Y direction and then you pull along Z to increase it, now you see that the gizmo is increasing in the positive, right? And when I go out, I'm going negative, right? So the positive direction should probably be the intended direction that is supposed to go, right? You can't bend your fingers 90 degrees negative unless you've broken them. So, you know, like in terms of normal finger movement, you know, to clench your hand or whatever, or to, you know, like beckon or whatever it may be, you'd probably be pointing, like moving it in the positive direction to curl them up. I mean, I guess it's a mindset thing, I guess, as far as I understand it anyway. You just want to be consistent with it, that's all. We'll be looking at that next time, but it won't be tomorrow, I think. More likely than not, the next session is going to be Thursday, as I've mentioned earlier, but it was disconnection issues. I've got a couple of deadlines, so I just need to basically fix up some things before then. So we'll be able to continue this and move on to the actual like rigging controls and like some basic mesh painting to actually test said controls, that kind of thing. And of course we'll be configuring the actual orient joints, right? So this will be demonstrated in much greater detail, I guess, next time. So thank you so much for coming. I apologize for the disconnection issues, which has caused this to become split across like 3 videos or something. Really sorry about that. I'm hoping that it won't happen, and I'll try and investigate why that had occurred. So thank you so much for coming, and I hope to see you on Thursday. Bye for now.